talked about at the beginning of the show before we started into our conversation how I'm really kind of enjoying being the senior man. It has a couple of perks, you know. Every once in a while, I'll bump a Proby out of my preferred riding seat or on the engine or something like that, or a lot of times, I don't know if you do it in your station, but anytime we have drill meeting and there's a large gathering of firefighters, we do riding assignments right off the bat, and the officer will do that and so forth. And it's rare that I don't get my way that I want to be on the first out engine, so you know, it comes in handy. But it's a different situation, and you know, I was just having the conversation with somebody earlier today that you get into 15, 20, 25, 30 years of the fire service, it's time that you realize that certainly, you know, I feel very strongly I have several good years left, but I also have to realize that it's no longer my fire service, it's no longer my fire department per se, and I guess until you find yourself in that situation to truly take heed to the phrase of the need for training our replacements.
Right.
And
right.
That's another area where I've really taken to and just subtly and kind of quietly, without actually saying it out loud or telling anybody, mentoring and coaching, you know, some of our younger firefighters, and,
right.
and just sharing my experiences. And what you touched on is that you know, a lot of those older guys that were in the fire company when we came on board, they're no longer around. You know, it's both our right, but I think also a lot of ways our obligation to carry on their stories and carry on their legacy. And look what we're surrounded with right here, sitting here at the Firemen's Memorial Exhibit Center of Western New York here in West Seneca, and just we don't have to look far to see reminders of that obligation.
No,
and
no.
my hat's off to certainly Jim Cavanaugh and Linda Macon and all the folks
right.
who do a great job here of keeping these memories alive.
Right.
And I guess that's a rite of passage that you know you're a senior
Absolutely.
firefighter when you actually start taking stock in some of this stuff and trying to cling to some of this stuff too.
Right.
And you know, you have some great memories of how you came into the fire service and truly being a run to the curb type
right.
kid, that you literally did that, and the photo of that fire hydrant that still sits across from your fire station, and I was sharing with the folks here earlier before we started the show that I have my log book that you can actually see part of at runtothecurve.com, and thank God I have that. Being you can use whatever term you want to, being let's see, what would be a politically correct term, hyperactive firefighter. I kept a logbook of every single call that I went on in my first year in the fire department. Right. But you know, 30 years later that I'm celebrating, I look back now and I say, thank God that I did such a foolish thing,
right.
so to speak. And you know, I'm glad I have those memories.
Well, to continue on those memories, Tiger, and like you said, we have an obligation when you start getting up there in years. Like I said, we had a devastating fire in '83, and we lost a lot of important memories and traditions that we had in our fire company. And in 2004, I had the honor, the company let me put together an anniversary book of the first 100th anniversary. So I actually wrote and designed a history book of our 100th anniversary, and that was a real big ordeal for me. And it was a tough time because my wife had some serious surgery done on her neck and that, so I was trying to juggle with her and trying to get this book done at the same time. It it really hit. And so it was really you know, something that I needed to get done. I needed to do it for the company because it's a legacy that I could feel I can leave. I felt that I owed it to the old guys that lost those memories, and another 100 years from now the fire company will be around and say, just what happened? I wish we had something to show our first fire, or what did we do as a company. So putting that book together was really big for me, and that was something that I thoroughly enjoyed. And it was like I said, and the reason why, you know, people ask me too, it's just like, geez, you know, you're just an assistant chief now and you're 25 years in, what, you know, what took you so long? The fact was, I still enjoyed putting the fires out. I still enjoyed being a black hat guy. I couldn't stop. I would, you know, I'll match up with any 18-year-old today. I just love doing it. I just couldn't it's just to step on the side, it was hard. But then at a point, you had no choice, because now
Yeah.
you know you had to go that route. You had to move up the officer ranks.
Well, what's that phrase that something like youth is wasted on the young or something like
Right,
that?
yeah.
I don't know exactly what it is, but that's kind of the thing. And I mean, just last night we had our monthly meeting at my station, and we had a huge storm that rolled through the area and everything,
Right.
and there were real close flashes of lightning and real loud thunder, and it just absolutely downpoured and stuff. It was inevitable that we were going to get a call. So probably 3/4 of the way through the meeting, we got punched out for a fire alarm activation at our high school and stuff. And I knew my riding assignment. I knew I was a senior man on the first engine out, and I got my gear on, and I was the first one on the engine. And I mean, I was dressed to the nines, not just, you know, grab my gear and get on the truck type thing. I was.
Right, you're ready to go.
The envelope was closed,
Yeah.
and it was literally a probationary firefighter that got on next after me.
Wow.
And I immediately laid right into him. I said, "You should be embarrassed." I said, "The senior man was just dressed and on the rig before you were. Oh my God!" I said, "You got some making up to do, and I'm going to make you pay for that."
Yeah,
So,
see?
yeah.
That steps up their game. It's a little, like you said, competition now, you know? These
yeah.
old guys, they're trying to get us. And
Yeah.
that brings a good camaraderie between, you know,
Yeah.
the young and the older guys. And it's fun. It brings that, you know, the atmosphere like it should be in the firehouse. It should be that kind of, like, fun, you know, type of, you know, guys, you know, doing a little kidding around with each other,
Sure.
goofs and things of that nature. And you feel like you're a
Yeah.
part of something. It's another extended family, I call it, you know?
It definitely is, and especially in those situations where, if you think about it, all I was really doing was trying to push him to be his best.
Right.
And again, that's an obligation that we have. Of
Right.
course, I did get my payback, because when it came time to get on scene and we were divvying up who was going to carry what tool, I'm like, well, let's see, do I take the 8-foot pike, or do I take the water can? Hey, Proby, how's that water can working out for you? You know, so it, like I said, it has its benefits, and you know, it's just really cool to be able to have those types of relationships. Hey, Rhett is taking over the controls now.
Okay.
From Rhett from Roanoke, and I'm going to tip him off that we should go to commercial if we can. If not, Rhett, talk in my ear here for a second and tell me we can. Otherwise, we'll keep going, and you do your thing there.